I go by the name Smiling LDS Girl on social media, so in general I try to be pretty positive and smiling and happy because that's generally who I am. And one of the great things about animation is, in general, it makes me happy. But there are cases where it does not make me happy, and there are horrible films. I saw one today. Norm of the North was a absolutely horrible animated film. It inspired me in its awfulness to give you guys the 10 worst animated films I have ever seen. And I will say at the beginning, there are some that are notoriously bad that I have not seen. I have not seen Food Fight and have not seen Dougal, so they are not on this list. And I don't think I will ever see those films. I just can't bring myself to do it. But I've seen 10 other awful films, so let's talk. 10, I have the Lorax. And the Lorax has okay animation, I'll give it that. But it sort of looks like fluorescent threw up all over it. And the thing that makes me mad about the Lorax is that the Lorax takes us a book by Dr. Seuss that teaches a message about moderation and how we all need to do a little bit and to help save the earth. That we all can contribute. We all can be empowered to do more. And what do we get out of the Lorax, the movie? We get that a corporate bad guy is ruining the earth, and that commerce and everything else is the thing to blame. And you can walk out of the movie The Lorax and think, I'm good. We're good. I don't need to do anything. It's not funny. It's the character, the vocal performances are bland. The lead character is extremely bland. The songs aren't very good. The Onceler turns from a character that's actually quite sad to a character that's really annoying. And it's just a mess, and it makes me mad because the original is so wonderful and it teaches such a great lesson, and they ruined it. Number 9 on my list is Mars Needs Moms, and this was officially released by Disney, but it was made by the Image Movers that made Christmas Carol. They made Polar Express, both films that I do like. This was just ill-conceived from the beginning. The story is that Mars is going down and taking all of the moms off of Earth, and because they need moms. And that does that seem like a great message for kids? You know, I mean, isn't that a little scary for a little child to see a movie about moms being abducted by aliens? I mean, come on. And it's dark, it's ugly, it's long, it's just, it's awful. It's not good. The motion capture looks horrible. Number 8, I have Legends of Oz, Dorothy's Return. And this came out in 2014. And I saw it because I love Wizard of Oz. It's continued the grand tradition of any venturing into Oz since the original to be horrible. And this was literally painful for me to watch. The animation didn't look finished. It didn't look done. It was shrill and and confusing at times, and the story wasn't good. I mean, literally the only good thing about this movie is that the villain is kind of clever, and the vocal performances are pretty good, but the songs are awful. The animation just, though, is so awful that it belonged on this list. Like I said, it literally was painful for me to look at. 7 on my list is the Puppies movie. And this comes from a tradition in the 80s where it was like every toy had to get turned into a movie. Of course, you had Transformers, you had G.I. Joe, you had Care Bears, all these different things. And this was Puppies the movie. And we get the origins of puppy power. And it's just about as good as that sounds. It's just awful. It's boring. It doesn't, I admit it, I haven't seen it in a long time, but it's not a good film. Number 6 is Fly Me to the Moon. This was the first 3D CG animated film, and it's really, really bad. Basically, you should watch this film if you want a ton of fly puns. If you think fly puns are funny, then this is the film for you. But I happen to not think that fly puns are funny, so I didn't like this movie. And the animation isn't very good. The story is stupid. There's lots of toilet humor. Teaches a nice message about NASA, but that's about it. Number 5 was The Hero of Color City, and this is a movie that literally took me 3 days to watch. I had made a commitment I was going to watch every single animated film that was submitted to the Academy for Best Animated Feature that year. Such an obvious ripoff of Toy Story, but with crayons, and like the crayons come alive at night, and they go on this like journey into the world of the drawings of the boy, which I guess like could be somewhat clever, but it's so dumb, and the animation is horrible, and the vocal performances aren't good. The message is super maudlin. It's long. It's boring. The humor just falls flat every time. Yeah, do not see The Hero of Color City with the crayons. Number 4, I have The Hunchback of Notre Dame 2. And this, of course, is one of the notorious Disney sequels. It is, in my opinion, the worst of the Disney sequels. I haven't seen all of them, and they are really bad. But this one, I think, is the worst. And I don't even really love the original that much, but at least it was like artistically significant and was bold. This is so bad. You basically got this like maudlin message of Quasimodo, and like there's this bell that has jewels on the inside because it's beautiful on the inside, and the songs are terrible, the villain is terrible, the animation is terrible, it's awful. Number 3 is Norm of the North. Yes, that's how much I hated this movie. It is awful. It does some of the same things that a lot of these other films did, but it just had nothing. Like, at least some of them had something for me to go off. The animation is awful. It totally has the greedy corporate scapegoat, so that none of us have to feel bad about what we're doing in our lives. And the animation is awful. Literally, Rob Schneider is the only good thing about this movie. And I actually fell asleep at one point because it was so boring. And it has so much toilet humor. It has, the jokes are horrible. It's awful. Number 2 is 8 Crazy Nights. And this is a movie for you if you like seeing a scene where an old man is frozen in defecation. Yeah, isn't that nice? Yeah, we get Adam Sandler, and we get a character named Whitey. And basically Adam Sandler is like in his 30s, and he's a loser, and he ends up going to court because he's of his bad behavior. Like, there's this Hanukkah story roped in, and it's gross and it's awful. Most of the vocal performances are from Adam Sandler, so I got that annoying Adam Sandler voice, and it's offensive and disgusting and annoying and everything that you could say bad about a movie. It's horrible. The worst animated film I have ever seen is called All Dogs Go to Heaven, Christmas Carol. And I actually like the original All Dogs Go to Heaven just fine. But in this, and you guys know how much I love Christmas Carol, it's very near and dear to my heart, and this is just a complete atrocity. Let's just to give you some context here. They end up having a character that's basically like a witch named Belladonna, who is she wants to hypnotize all of the dogs and get rid of Christmas. That sounds like Christmas Carol to me, doesn't it? Basically, Carface is the Scrooge of the story, but it doesn't really make sense because he's like really not the main villain of the story. But they sort of, at the very end, they kind of bring in the ghosts, but not really. It's been sort of, he's just had this like tragic backstory, and it's awful. Horrible, 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 horrible. Literally the only thing I can say good about it is, you've got some of the Dom DeLuise and some of the good vocal performances. That's it. It's horrible. And don't see it. So those are my top 10 worst animated films of all time that I've ever seen. So what are your worst? Which ones do you think are just absolutely horrible? Put in the comments section, let me know, and thanks so much. Please subscribe to my channel. I'll talk to you later. Bye!